I wanted to be relentless in my pursuit of success. I particularly wanted to prove to my mom, prove to my dad that I could do it on my own.
Feelings of condemnation from her childhood, along with her own ego, drove Melissa to do whatever it took to be successful.
People were completely disposable to me, dispensable to me. I didn't find value in relationships. I would get rid of you and kick you out of my life in the same way it was done for me.
Her ambition to be successful brought opportunities in Atlanta, selling high-end watches and jewelry.
I was a $1 million writer for the company. I was doing great. I had celebrity clients, big clientele, and I would be selling a diamond ring to someone's husband and at the same time going to Miami with the same man.
Still, she wanted more. She moved to New York for bigger opportunities and got a job selling Rolex and other high-end watches on Fifth Avenue. But sales were hard to come by. Soon, she feared her job was on the line.
The feelings of failure and also that old familiar feeling of condemnation hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt constant fear that I was going to lose my job, and I felt this utter panic rush over me that I'm in desperation that I need to do something in order to save my job.
Former clients from Atlanta presented an opportunity for Melissa to make a large sale, but there was a catch.
They wanted to buy 2 watches and they were going to do it with fake credit cards. And originally, I was like, oh no. And I got more desperate. My sales are not doing that good. I don't want to move back home and say I failed.
She made the deal. A month later, police brought her in for questioning regarding her role in the scheme. Melissa was once again overwhelmed with a sense of failure and condemnation.
You're like the worst person. How could you do something like that? Like, look at you. This is ridiculous. You ruined your life. And those thoughts were tormenting. They were over and over and over. These voices are like just in your head telling you like how you're not valuable and how this is so crazy and just dumb to have made a decision what you did. Now look at you, you know.
Eventually, Melissa was charged with third-degree grand larceny and faced the possibility of up to 7 years in prison. Before turning herself in, she talked on the phone with her aunt, who told her about Jesus.
She starts to talk to me about how he wants to help me and how he loves me and how much like he cares for me. And I was just like, well, why would he want to help somebody who's done all these things? My whole life, I've been against him. Well, why would he want to help me? It just didn't make sense.
While in a holding cell waiting for her bail hearing, Melissa says she had a spiritual encounter that changed her life.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just so sorry. In the midst of me saying that, this bright white light comes and permeates the cell. And it felt like a force, like a presence, and it like knocked me to the ground. Like, and when I was on the ground, I was next to the feet of Jesus. And I knew that it was Jesus. I knew it was him.
Melissa says she then saw a vision of her entire life. Every sinful decision and selfish action revealed in front of Jesus. Yet instead of condemnation, she felt his love.
He overwhelmed me with a love that I have never experienced in my life. I didn't have a need in that moment. I didn't have a want in that moment, but I was fully aware of how sinful that I was.
As she repented from her sins, she says Jesus told her about her future, ministering to women and children, and that she would go free that day. A few hours later, to her lawyer's surprise, she was released without bail.
I've only ever known condemnation. I never even knew what grace was. And what happened in the courtroom is like what he did on the cross for me, that I was literally guilty. But because of what he did for me, I could go free. And that was where I had the big revelation of just who he is.
Having experienced the unconditional love of God in such a powerful way, Melissa gave her life to Jesus.
I have never experienced unconditional love. Every piece of love I've known has been transactional and it's been conditional. And when you understand the Father's love, when you understand Jesus' love for you, It is what endows you to want to obey him. It is what endows you to want to follow him.
The feelings of condemnation she'd always known have been exchanged for the grace of God that set her free and gave her a new purpose.
He chose to love me. And because of that, I give my life to him. And I know that he has no respect of persons. So what he's done for me, I know that he is willing and able and capable to do for others. To see everything that he said be true and to be working with women and children on behalf of him, it is just an absolute honor. And I'm not turning back.